Okay, so welcome everybody to the World of Ability podcast, which is on the World of Ability Podcast Network. We do here every Saturday at 1 o'clock Central, and I'll have everybody join us. And we have a great crew joining us here today. And one of those people is Dina, who we just met recently. So welcome, Dina.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you for having me. I so appreciate this.
And maybe if you want to say a little bit about who you are, or once you want to say a little bit about the background of the thing here.
Absolutely. You know me, I love to talk. So I am Dana Elaine. I'm an author and keynote speaker. I've authored Tragic Whispers, a trilogy. And I met Sue and Kurt not long ago, I don't know, probably 6 weeks ago. And it has been such a blessing to be a part of this program and a couple others that they do have. And what I want to do is just explain a little bit about what this program is about. We do broadcast live, and it is worldwide. So it will be on YouTube, live streaming also. And even though we might not see you, we can hear you. You can hop in. It's a rotating door, so feel free to come in and join us. The World of Ability Podcast Network. It's dedicated to amplifying the voices of people with disabilities, provided a platform for storytelling, education, and community building. And it promotes inclusivity and raises awareness. How powerful is that, right? They're a multitude platform. They're focused on podcasts and they serve as a hub for informative and entertaining content across a wide range of topics. That will be exciting today because I know we have some fun guests on here. Um, the podcast aims to serve both people with disabilities and a wider public to help foster awareness and inclusivity. Now, where else can you go where the motto is showcasing abilities? You belong here at the World of Ability, where we can break down barriers and celebrate the ability that's in all of us. You know, we all do have a God given talent. We are blessed with so many different opportunities, whatever that looks like in your world. So I'm excited to have several different guests on today. And I'm going to just start introducing, and then I'd like to highlight and just ask each and every one of you how you are, where you are, what your world looks like, and just chat with us for a minute, okay? Sound good, everyone? All right. We have Lori Cleverly, and she has the Clever Adventures podcast. As I understand, Lori, I believe you're from Arizona, right?
Yeah, so I am in Arizona. I'm in Phoenix
So am
and
I.
I'm in New River.
Okay, I'm in Deer Valley.
Okay.
Off the I-19 in Union Hill. So we'll have to get together and chat.
I
Yeah.
used to live at Bell and the 17.
Okay. All right. I know right where that is. All
Yep.
right. Very good. Well, tell us
Yeah.
about you and what you do. Give us an idea, an insight of your world.
Yeah. So am a I do destination design for the disabled is my new tagline. So I have three boys. They are all autistic and on very different ends of the spectrum. But so my life is never a dull moment. And I found travel and I had to figure out how to take my family traveling. I didn't know how we were going to travel. We were one of those families that it's just too hard to travel. And so really what I found out is that there are a lot of resources out there that I did not know without being a travel agent, without saying, hey, here are these resources. And so I really am here to share that, there are a lot of resources out there. I want families that have a individual that has a disability, whether it's visible or invisible, doesn't matter, that they can still see the world. It might look a little different than everybody else,
Mhm.
but we can still see the world. Like I would love to take my kids to Antarctica, but taking my kids to Antarctica, I might have to wait till my youngest, that's currently 6, till he's 18 or 20. One, just for the physical requirements, but
Uh-huh.
two, for the capacity to understand and follow the directions and things like that. So they just need to be a little bit more mature, where my oldest is almost is going to be 12 in a month.
Mhm.
And so he will tell you the rule that he's breaking. So,
Okay.
like physically, yeah, he's the body of a 12-year-old, but mentally he is not about there for a 12-year-old. So, but essentially I have firsthand knowledge of a parent, of what it's like to travel with families that have an autistic child.
Mhm.
We have food allergies and sensitivities. My youngest has an EpiPen for soy and oats. We eat gluten-free and dairy-free every single day, just because we found that giving my kids gluten is like worse than sugar, because it just makes them wild
Wow.
and crazy. Their behavior is very erratic. You can't rationalize with them. You can't, it's worse than not even it's worse than not taking meds for a week. So we've done that. And then I understand the physical disabilities because my father had Parkinson's for many years before he passed away. And he lived with us for about 2 months. And so caring for him, understanding him not being able to walk and all of those things, and his body just kind of, shutting down. And my father-in-law is actually an amputee. And so that happened when my husband was very young. And then I also have a friend that our kids are best friends, and she's got cerebral palsy. So like I have completely capable from and just adapting to really struggles to was completely capable and watching the downhill decrease. So I've I've got a variety of firsthand knowledge.
Mhm.
So I just want everybody to be able to see the world. So, there's not a physical limitation of why you can't travel. Maybe you can't go to every destination,
Mhm.
but there's still no reason that you can't travel if you have a disability. You just might need some more advocacy, especially if you go outside of the US, because once you leave the US, there is no Americans with Disabilities Act. There is no ADA.
Okay.
So the level of what is required in the US doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be in another country. So I'm kind of that person doing all the digging, making sure that, all of the logistics of, well, how are you going to, if you're in a wheelchair, how are you getting from the airport to the hotel?
Mhm.
Well, we got to get you wheelchair accessible. Do you need to be able to roll up, or can you physically stand and get out of the chair and get into a seat? So you just need the assistance of, having that wheelchair. So I'm very creative in making sure that whatever my clients are wanting to do, that they're still able to do all of that. And I take a lot of extra things into consideration that the neurotypical people don't have to worry about.
Wow. Wow. My goodness, Lori, it sounds challenging, definitely. It does sound rewarding at the same time, given you have 3 sons yourself. I cannot imagine the challenges that you incur every day, 24/7,
Mhm.
and coming with relatives with disabilities. There are several questions I want to ask you. And are you going to be on for a little bit so I can come
Mhm.
back and ask you? Okay, great. Uh,
Write them
yes.
down so you don't forget.
Oh, girl, I got them right here. I have them right here. So, yes, thank you so much for your story and a little bit about what you do. And we're going to move over to Ryan Botner. We're going to talk with Ryan here for a minute. Um, I know Ryan personally. He's actually my life coach, and he has a cornerstone coaching That's a tongue twister at times for me. And I've known Ryan for a couple of months now. I've heard about him prior and was just honored, blessed that he actually found me on LinkedIn. And he's been working with me, and he has shown me paths that I really just never even thought about. He does know my history, my background, and what I went through. Some would not consider a disability. However, when you're a trauma survivor, it can be a disability with what you think you're capable of doing. But then when you have someone like Ryan that comes along, uh, that's not even in his word vocabulary of cannot do. He is a go giver and he does give back. So Ryan, thank you for joining us. I so appreciate it. Ryan has 7 children. I do know that about Ryan. So Saturdays is full for him. Every day is full for him, but especially, he has to be a wife, a husband, a dad, or he has his wife that chips in and helps as much as she can. But I can't imagine, as you, Lori, has your hands full, I can't imagine walking in Ryan's shoes. So Ryan, tell us what that looks like walking in your shoes.
Well, I know that God gives us each the grace that we need for each
Amen.
situation, And thank you so much for the warm introduction, Dina. Dina, I was looking back, March 24th, we connected on LinkedIn, and
Okay.
we faith-based recovery story. I think everybody's in some type of a recovery in their life, and if they're really transforming and recreating, and we're really becoming somebody. It's why I believe everybody needs a coach in life. I believe a good coach can change your life, and I've had a lot of amazing coaches in my life, and it's always great to just be able to connect with people on a deeper level. I believe that we all need to be more bold.
Mhm.
Imposter syndrome creeps into our life, and our complacency also creeps in. It may look like a blessing, but a lot of times it's a curse, and we need to be activated every day. And so, 5.5 years ago, I overdosed, and I was in a coma 3 days, and I wasn't looking for God, but He reached in and pulled me out of the miry clay. And before that, I had 4 children. I had made millions of dollars in the life insurance business, and life really just got a hold of me. And then life knocked the shout out of me. And I just had to rebuild everything. And I did that by losing my life in the service of others. And that's really when I fell in love with not only coaching others, but being coached and being coachable. And Dina, you're coachable, so you're fun to coach. I love being your coach because you're coachable. And
Thank
and
you.
I think that's what a lot of times, just finding people that are humble, hungry, and teachable, and understanding that nobody really has it figured out. But if we come together, iron sharpeneth iron, as the Bible says, and
Mhm.
we can get through things, right? And look
Right.
up instead of looking down so much. So I have compassion for people that are a lot of times working in their business or in their lives too much, and they really can't. It's impossible for them to work on it or even read the label while they're in the bottle. And so I've been able to reach a lot of people through speaking, and I believe that speaking can be the tip of the spear. We're not just in business; we're in show business, and so that's what I've been doing the last 5 years, is just speaking and looking for people that are looking for me, and searching for people that believe the same thing as me. And I believe in being consistent and committed and curious to grow and compassionate and also accountable. And so if I meet people that believe those same things, then we can all move forward. And so um, that is just a few things about me. And yes, I have 7 children. My wife did take me back after my addiction, which most people, after I speak and I leave the stage, are like, I kind of want to just meet your wife. And I'm like, okay, well,
I do
yeah,
too.
yeah. Her name's Amanda, and she really is amazing. And our oldest is 15, and it pretty much goes every 2 years under that. And so I'm trying to build a church up here in North Dakota, and God is helping us one day at a time. So thank you so much.
Amen. Yeah, I do have a question for you. I'm not sure how much time you have that you're going to stay with us. but actually I have two questions. So what do you wish people understood more about your journey? Now, that could be your journey from your past that brought you to where you are, or what do you wish they understood about your journey now? I know you're looking for people that's looking for you, that together are connecting on the same level, spiritual, mental, emotional. So what is that one thing? What do you wish people would understand more about your journey? Because a lot of times when, let's say on LinkedIn, we get hit by, and Philip, you can attest to this, we get contacted by a gazillion people wanting to sell us services. We're looking for people that need our services. So, and Ryan, as a go-getter, I know you brought in several people that I know that I didn't even know you had brought them in. But what do you think, what do you wish that people would understand more about your journey?
I just wrote a book called Life Driven to Significance, and it's about aligning spirit, heart, mind, and body together. And before, in my previous life, I would go through some things, and I would maybe hit the gym, I would meal prep, I would attack my body, and then I would attack my mind, and I'd read some self-help books, and then eventually I would fall right back into things. And so the nice thing about the business that I do now, number one, I pray and I intercede for people that I haven't even met yet, that God is going to bring in my business. So it is amazing divine fit. And I truly believe that, walking by faith and not by sight. But understanding, I think we all, we've talked about traumas in the past. For me, it was being bullied, to the point of suicide when I was young. And everybody has something, right?
Right, right.
Everybody has something of why they do what they do, or why they're driven, or why they fell into addiction, or why they, there's whatever it is. And
Mm-hmm.
and if I can help, like, until I went first spirit in my life to do some healing, and then to the heart, and I had to go back and forgive people, and also forgive myself, which is probably the hardest. um, I was never able to made whole. And so kind of going up the river and find out why are these people falling in instead of just pulling people out of the river, right?
Right.
And from that side of things. So I'm a big fan of diagnosing every conversation, every engagement I have, whether it's from a LinkedIn introduction or a speaking introduction. I want to diagnose what challenges people really are facing, and what an ideal outcome is. You're at A right now, you're trying to get to B, and maybe it's not me that can help you. Maybe I can make the introduction to Dina, or to Philip, or to Joe, whatever it is. I can be that people connector, but I wake up every day and I just want to help people.
And you do a great job. My husband, my husband, he's actually, there's one more book right over there, Driven by Significance. I've been reading your book, Driven by Significance, and it's actually, there it is right here. Life Driven to Significance. I don't know if we can show that there. I don't know. I'll screenshot it and put it in
Nope.
the
Nobody
in the
wants to get to the end of their life and realize that their life wasn't significant.
Right. And what I'm finding out with this book, I'm in the second phase of this, and I'm going to need another yellow highlighter. I have I have highlighted so much in this book, and
Amen.
I mean it's not very thick. Maybe it's a half an inch, but
Yeah.
and I've gone back over it, and I just keep highlighting and highlighting. It's like I should just highlight the whole book. So we have Speak to Sell. There it is. It's hard to
Yeah.
do on these, but there's Speak to Sell, Be Intentional, the touch point selling. I'll start in each one. I do my Bible reading at night, and I will say, thanks to Ryan, he's got me more acclimated to going to the Bible instead of just thinking, oh, what should I do? And it's like, well, go to the Bible, you'll find your answer. And if you don't find it, then just ask for it. Be specific. And that's something I have so enjoyed about Ryan, and him being with me, and him messaging me at 9 o'clock at night, and there is a 2-hour time difference with us. And sometimes I'll send a text. It's like, I don't know if it's too late if you're sleeping. And sure enough, if he is sleeping, even he'll do a thumbs up or a heart or something. So, Ryan, again, thank you so much for being part of my life. Uh, I know I'm in his group, and just the testimonies from people that you have served is just overwhelming, truly. And I can appreciate your background of addiction and then coming back, because it is coming back, but it is doable. It is doable. And it is no longer a handicap or something that hangs over our head because it is forgotten. It's in the sea of forgetfulness. And that shame, fear, and guilt needs to go away, right?
Well, I literally, so I'm a driver of the volunteer ambulance, and I literally just got a call, so I have to go.
Oh, that's fine. Thank you
Yes,
so
I
much.
literally, that just came through. So thank you.
Okay. I'm gonna drop your contact information in the chat for you since I know it. Okay.
Yes.
And uh thank you again. And I will
Thank
be
you. Pray
calling you
for
this
the ambulance ride.
afternoon.
Thank you guys. Love you.
Yes. Is everything okay? All right. I know his grandmother took a fall the other day, and so I'm not sure what's going on with that. I didn't quite hear everything. But let's move on to Philip. Philip, I just adore Philip. He and I was in a group together, and that's how I got to meet Philip. And I think I commented one time, Philip, that he answered almost everybody. Now there's probably over 100 students at one time, any given time in this company that we both were going through. It was a speaking company, how to learn how to speak and that type of thing. And one thing I picked up on Philip was he responded to almost every message that somebody had put out there. You have the thread and you can comment on your wins or what's holding you back. And Philip always had something encouraging. It did not matter what it was. So, Philip, thank you for that. I appreciate that. I would love to hear what you're doing now and how long you've been doing it. And let's just start with that and share some love to us. Tell us about it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you for that. My
Sure.
wife peeked around the corner as you were saying that. She's like, "Yeah, you're a natural."
That's true.
Thank you. Yeah, I love to encourage people. I love to be the person that uplifts and encourages and finds the positive I can in no matter what it is. There's
Mhm.
something positive that you can pull out and speak to no matter what the conversation is. And I always try to be that for someone because who else is doing that? Right.
Right.
I resonate a lot with what Ryan was saying, everything he said and more. I was that kid who was bullied young, and it takes an emotional and physical toll, and you end up in addictive behaviors because you're trying to numb the pain, and
Right.
all those things that happen are all lessons that I had to go through that now I teach through the victory framework, very much like what Ryan's doing. I'm looking forward to connecting with him, by the way. I think
Good.
we'll I think we'll have a lot to talk about. But
Sure.
yeah, so now I'm a keynote speaker, workshop. I run 1-day events. I've got a course that I help people run through. And when they graduate, when they've gone through the forge to literally forge confidence in themselves, at the end, I gift them a sword as a representation that they have gone through the forge of life and that they've learned and grown. And it's a beautiful representation of you're sharp now. You can go into the world and conquer whatever it is because you've built the confidence. You've gone through the fire. You've been heated. You've been tested. You've been pounded and beat. You've been back in the fire. You've come out. You've been pounded some more. You've been shaped, sharpened, and quenched. And then the beautification process happens. And it's just a wonderful process that I get to help guide people through with the victory framework. And it's exciting times. A lot of big stuff is on the horizon with that.
Wow. That's powerful. Very powerful. As I said, to the other people that are here, I do know Philip, and he is a go-getter. He does speak up and speak out. Tell us a little bit about what the Victory Framework actually is.
Sure. The Victory Framework was born out of the lessons that I had to learn the hard way, usually the hardest way possible growing up. Like I said, from no confidence, my self-image was in the dirt growing up, and God had to teach me a lot of lessons along the way. And the Victory Framework is the culmination of those lessons. The V stands for vision. You've heard it said, begin with the end in mind, start with why, put the big rocks first. All these great leadership things that we talk about, they're all true, they're all necessary. And yes, you can't move, you can't steer a parked car, right? So you have to put a direction out there somewhere. Where is it that you want to be that you're not currently? And you look at the gap between those two, and it creates a hunger to do something different. And so when you start looking at putting together a vision, it's hard to look at that without talking about purpose.
Okay.
And so that's a big piece of, like what Ryan was talking about. We want to live a life of significance. We want to do something that means something. What is that? Define that. And so that's a part of that vision process, is understanding your purpose. And of course, that ties directly into the I, which is identity. When you're clear on your identity, you know who you are and you know whose you are. As a child of God, as a Christian, that is a massive piece of the understanding for me in my life. And what I teach is that when you know and you have a firm foundation in yourself and in your Creator, there naturally comes a confidence that you can't duplicate without it.
Amen. Amen.
When you begin to get clear on your understanding of your identity and the authority that you carry in that, scripturally saying we have authority. And when we understand it, when we inculcate it into our hearts, we can move forward and really affect the world, because that is where the confidence really, truly comes from at a core level. So vision and identity are very closely related. They tie together. Purpose is a big piece of that. But then there's more work to do. The C is character. You have to forge good character. Otherwise, every time you lie, cheat, steal, do something you shouldn't, your confidence is taking a hit. Subconsciously, it, whether you believe it or not, it's true. So building and forging that character and integrity is paramount for building that unshakable confidence. And that blends right into the T, which is trust.
Huge.
Having character helps you learn how to trust yourself on a subconscious, spiritual level, as well as physically, right? Mentally. But then there's that next level, which is learning how to trust others. And that can be really, really tough if you've had trust broken, if you've been betrayed, if you've had somebody break a massive trust in your life. It can be really, really tough to learn how to forgive and trust others again. But part of that character piece is building trust with others so that they can learn how to trust you. And then you dig a little bit deeper and you start saying, okay, well, what about trusting God? Learning that you can trust God, that He is trustworthy. And then the biggest, most important question with trust is, can God trust you? Are you faithful in the little? Can He trust you with more?
That is a powerful statement. That right there is powerful. Say that again for me, please. I love that.
You learning how to trust God is one thing, but can He trust you?
That's just powerful. I love that.
Yeah.
I wrote that down.
that's there's a lot that goes into that trust piece that oftentimes you hear authors talk about trust, but I don't think I've ever read a book that goes to that level talking about trust. And so we have to have good character and be trustworthy, not just here in the physical, but also with our Creator. And so that vision, identity, character, trust, moving into the O, which is operate. And I like to think of it as open heart surgery. You've got to dig in and bust this thing open and figure out why it's not working right. Where's the blockage? And that means dealing with the past. That means addressing hurt, learning how to forgive. For men, pulling that box off the shelf that we don't want to open and opening it and feeling the feelings that we don't want to feel. And oftentimes, more so for women, is learning how to step out of the box and heal from it rather than sitting in it. And learning how to close that box and really address it and put it away for good. And so men and women handle those things differently, but we have to deal with the pain and the hurt and the trauma and the abuse and the neglect and all the things that hurt us on an emotional and spiritual level, that sometimes it's things that people say. You know, for instance, for me growing up, I was bullied incessantly, and all of the name calling became, I took those names and I held them as a part of my identity. Well, everybody says I am, therefore I must be. Right. And so that goes right back to the identity piece, is dealing with that trauma, abuse, the things that people speak into our lives that we've taken hold of. We have to learn how to let those things go. We have to learn how to heal from them. An author by the name of Pete Scazzero said, "The inability to grieve well is the beginning of all addiction." I'll repeat that for you.
Yes.
The inability to grieve well is the beginning of all addiction. That hit me so hard when I read that. It really made me address a lot of addictive behaviors in my life and have to go back and address some of those hurts and pains that I was not allowing myself to grieve well in. So that is such a powerful, powerful piece. And that learning how to operate on the heart. Sometimes we need professional help to do that. Sometimes we need a coach, a counselor, somebody who understands, specific traumas too can be different to deal with. And so that can take the longest time to work through that operate piece, but it is so foundational to building unshakable confidence.
I'm like, what? The ability to give well is the beginning of all addiction.
The inability to grieve.
I couldn't read my own writing. To grieve. Okay, I was writing so fast. The inability to grieve well is the beginning
of all
addiction. And that was by Pete
Scazzero.
Okay, Scazzero. Got it.
Yeah, he's got several great books: Emotionally Healthy, Discipleship, Leadership, and he's got several. I don't remember which book that was in.
Okay, well, I'm going to look that up, because that to me is just, that's crazy. The inability to grieve well is the beginning of all addiction, which addiction to me is a disability, of course, because it just throws us off of everything, and we are disabled. We are not able to show up the way we're supposed to, the way God intended us to, with purpose, with our knowing our why, and everything you're talking about. It's like, ooh, that's powerful. That's powerful.
Yeah.
Okay. And you still have the why on your victory.
Well, the R is next.
Okay.
And that's exactly what we're doing here. It's all about relationships. Okay. You have to learn how to surround yourself with people that are going to speak into your life, that are going to uplift you and encourage you and challenge you and push you forward, rather than say things like, oh, you can't do that, that's too big a problem, you'll never accomplish that, oh, you're too dumb, you're not pretty enough, you're not smart enough, you're all the dumb things people say when they don't understand your mission, vision, values, and what God's called you to do. And you know, it goes back to that other piece. Am I the kind of person who is uplifting, encouraging, and championing other people's causes for them? If I want to surround myself with those people, I need to become that type of person before I will attract those kind of people, right?
Right.
And so distancing yourself from the toxic voices around us is just as important. And sometimes that's the hardest piece, because they're family. They, I love you and I care about you. I don't want to see you get hurt. Right. And so we have to learn how to gently distance ourselves from those voices and surround ourselves with great coaches like you've done with Ryan. And coaching and mentorship is so vital to those kind of relationships. But that's a huge one. Everything, we are built to be relational creatures, in relationship with God, in relationship with each other, our families. To build those tight friendships is so vital to having that unshakable confidence. If you've got the negative voices, if you're listening to them or not, if the negative overpowers the positive, it will affect your confidence.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And that's how my series of the trilogy came along. Those noises end up being those tragic whispers in my head.
Yes, exactly.
And you do have to set those boundaries. And that's really hard, because even though they're toxic, it's comfortable because we know them. You know, we know we're just comfortable in those relationships. So when you start to grow, it is very uncomfortable, because you do have to distance yourself and you do have to set up those boundaries. You are not wrong. You are not wrong.
And it's so hard, because they're often the people that we love and care about the most that are the most toxic to us.
Right.
And so
yes,
it's a challenge.
Mine was my mother and my sister. You know, I'm so blessed to have made amends with my mother before she passed away just this past year. With my sister, you know, I will hold her hand and walk into recovery with her. But until she's ready, I cannot associate with that. You know, Lori, you're shaking your head, so I believe you understand. Debbie, you're shaking your head, so I believe maybe all of us have encountered a little bit of that, to where, as hurtful and hard as it is to distance and put those boundaries up, you know, because they don't understand. That's the biggest part. I have a son that doesn't talk to me. He's a functioning alcoholic. He doesn't realize the alcoholic part because he is functioning. You know, he does have a business and does this and that, but then after that, you know, it's like showtime when they show up, and then after their job is done, they become this whole different person. And it sounds like a lot of us have gone through that, to where we have, you know, our showtime and we're functioning and doing, but then after that, we crash and burn and go back to that addiction, whatever that addiction is. It can be a drug, it can be hypochondria, it can be narcissism, it can be chaos, it can be drama, it can be anything that is holding you back and stopping you from showing up the best you can. So I totally am relating with what you're saying.
I also think that there's a lot of mental illness related to that too, because
oh yes,
100%. my situation right now is my mother does not believe that she has dementia, but she really does. And there is a division, because there are two children that live in the state of Arizona where she lives. And then there are two children that do not live in the state the same as she does. And so they get a different version. And so they're like in denial and they don't want to believe us. And so it's honestly, it's divided the family because of the mental illness that is happening with everything too. So
I just make a real quick comment about that?
Yes,
Dementia.
of course.
I am learning. I have been learning a ton about dementia and some of these other illnesses.
Mhm.
I do a little bit of research, but you'll find dementia is just type 3 diabetes.
It is, and I am
it is
diabetic.
100% curable and reversible.
Amen.
yes, but you also have to
Amen.
have the person be willing to accept that.
There you go. There
True.
you go.
They
True.
have to be willing to accept that there is something wrong.
Mhm.
And if they believe that nothing is wrong with them, there's no way to fix it.
True. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Right.
Right.
That's
You
our
can
problem.
salt the oats.
That's right. That's right. Debbie, you have something to say on that? I see you shaking your head. Are you just agreeing?
Yeah, I'm just agreeing. So I'm,
Okay.
yeah, but yeah, lots of things pop in and deal with. So through life. So, yeah, it's great to hear. But I'm waiting for the why. Ken,
Yes.
The why.
Yeah, there. I love it.
Maybe I shouldn't say anything. Maybe I should just leave it. Have to go come
Oh,
take the course.
no. Well, you don't have to give us the whole course. This is just an insight on when you do take his course.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh my
every
goodness,
single
this
one of
is
the
going to be
letters
so
is
powerful.
easily a 4 to 6 hour course just in and of itself, and then some. So the why is yes. Learning how to hear God's voice and obey, saying yes to what God has for you. But then also being able to see opportunities and understand the difference between the good and the great. Too often we say yes to everything and then we get burnt out. Then we're no good to anybody. And this is something I struggled with for years and years and years. I would say yes to everything. I would work harder than anybody else. And then I would burn myself out. And then I'm no good to anybody for 6 months.
Right. I hear that. I hear that.
Oh, it took so long for me to understand that it's not healthy. So on the other side, it's oftentimes Christians will say, well, I'm too busy. I'm doing good here. I'm doing good here. I'm doing good here. I'm doing good over here. God, can't you see all the good I'm doing? The whole time God's saying, yeah, but I have great right here for you.
Oh, snap. Yes.
Right? So
yes, the
how
why.
do we hear God's voice? And when he's gently calling us to say, hey, I have great for you right over here. How can we hear God's voice, learning how to listen for God's voice, hear God's voice, and then take the step to say yes and obey. But then the hard work comes, because once you say yes, you have to actually do the work. You have to actually be competent in that yes to make that yes a success. So there's a lot more that goes into that, but
of course,
learning how to hear God's voice, saying yes to the right opportunities, and saying no to opportunities that do not align with or feed your mission, vision, and values.
Yes. Yes, I can say yes, absolutely. and really understand that. Wow, Philip, you have an amazing framework, and of course, 15 minutes doesn't cover it all. What it did, though, was give us an insight of what it is that you do talk about and teach about and help others. So please drop your information in the chat. Stay with us, because we're going to have more talks. There's more people joining on here. I know the Peace Foundation just jumped on, but this definitely could be a group. They branch out worldwide. I know they're over Kenya, Africa, Europe. I mean, they're all over. Emily's not on. She's my back ear IT. She had to hop off for a minute, but there's just a lot more information that I really think you could be a great part. And there's Emily. So hi, Emily. But it does go, and they don't ask for anything. This group asks for nothing. They're looking for people as us, all of us, that can give back to the community and serve and do better and help others and be a part of fundraisers and go and speak. And I think you might be really interested in what they offer and how many different groups of people you can collaborate with, just like we're doing now. It's a nice meet and greet. And I love that it's a 2-hour show because so many people can come on. It's a revolving door. You can hop off and then come back on in 30 minutes and, just get to know people a little bit better. And in the chat, if you would drop your information, that would be amazing.
I can do that.
That would be wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your story and what you're doing. If you don't have to leave, please don't. If you do, I understand. Let's hop over to, see, somebody had their hand raised. Emily, I know Debbie, you're on here, but Peace Foundation has her hand up, so I'm not sure if they're on a time frame or not. Do you know, Emily?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I don't see a picture on Peace Foundation, but can you hear us, whoever is on Peace Foundation?
Great. Peace Foundation is permaculture education, action, and community empowerment. Peace Foundation. And my name is Fred. I'm the executive director and founder of the Peace Foundation, which is a humanitarian environment organization working on climate resilience, climate action, and through permaculture and supporting communities in Western Uganda on the country's border with the Democratic Republic of Congo. We are embodied on values of spiritual and mental healing as a result of climate change. And I'm moved by the statement he just said, and I really feel just at home. I've shared about us, and I've also shared my WhatsApp, which I feel maybe after the call, we can have a follow-up exchange of chatting on the WhatsApp. But I really get touched by the message he just delivered, listening and responding to the right, to the great call than what is not great. Sometimes discerning the two is always a challenge in life. We get moved by what's not important, and we resist what is important. So I saw this resonating with the call of Abraham. Abraham was called and immediately left all he was doing at 75 years. And he followed God's instruction to go to the land God was going to show him. The Bible does not tell us whether Abraham was curious to know what he was going to do or how he was going to survive there and what he was, what he was to pack. Like today, if someone was told, come to Uganda, to Western Uganda, someone said, oh, where's my visa? Oh, do I have a house there? How will I survive? But Abraham just left all he had, and at 75 years, and he listened. He was obedient, actually, so obedient. And he started the movement to go to where God wanted him. So I just love this, and I feel need to listen to God all the time. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Fred, thank you. Thank you for hopping on. I do appreciate that. And I'm thrilled that you were able to resonate with what Philip brought to us today. And it is important. Sometimes we just have to stop looking at everything materialistically and look at the end game, which my end game is I have no fear of death. It's like I can't wait to see what's waiting for me on the other side. Come on, come on. And my kids actually get upset with me and they're like, are you wishing for death? It's like, it's really not death. Sometimes living in this world, in this platform, it's a form of hell and death. And so I'm good with going on. So I understand what you're saying, Fred. Sometimes you just have to let go and let God, just as Philip brought to the table. you know, you might be doing something good, but God has great. I love how Philip put that, you know, you have good, but God has great.
That's
So
great. Yeah.
yes, and I look forward for you and Philip to be able to connect. It looks like Philip just put his information there in the chat. So Fred, make sure you take that and get in touch with Philip and see where that takes you.
Great.
How's that sound?
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
amazing.
wonderful, wonderful. All right, Debbie, let's hear from Debbie. She's been so patiently and quiet and listening. What do you have for us today, girl?
Wow, lots of things to hear and learn and people to meet. It's been great to glean all this wisdom and taking notes has kept me busy. So, yep, I appreciate all that. I'm just here to support, um, well, all of us because we all need help making decisions. And one of the things that God tells us to do is that we need to have advisors. And I love that our attorneys with Legal Shield are great advisors to help you through life challenges. And it's interesting that the challenges seem to keep more challenging all the time. So we have identity theft and legal attorneys there to help make life easier and help with decisions. And, when it's affordable, why not have the best that you can have to make all those decisions? So I appreciate being here and just wanted to let people know that it's available to them. And they can certainly contact me or my information is in chat. And I'm glad to listen to what's going on here. So, thank you.
Thank you, Deb. I appreciate you jumping on. It sounds like you've come on several times. Again, I'm new to the program. I've only been on a couple of times, but where are you located?
I'm in Kansas City. So right now,
Kansas City.
United States. Yep.
Okay. We were in Branson just a couple of months ago. We were there for about 18 months. My mother lived there. She passed away last year, but I still have brother and nieces and nephews. And my youngest daughter, she went with us and she actually stayed. It's like, what? You're leaving me again? She's like, no, Mom, you're leaving me and I'm staying. So, but she, we'd hop up to Kansas all the time. So I know the area pretty well. So I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Love that. Try that overpass thing that you try and get through when you're going from south to north and north to south. And oh my goodness, make sure it's not during traffic because
right. Yes.
especially when you're driving a motorhome and pulling a Jeep, it's like, if you don't get over in the right lane, you're going to go around Kansas City again. Right?
Sure. That's right. And we're having a lot of soccer people starting to come in the next few weeks. So it's going to even be more crazy. So if you're coming soon and then like between now and middle of July, you might want to be really, really careful. So yeah.
Well, thanks for the update. However, we're in Arizona and from here we're going up to Utah and then over to South Dakota for a minute.
Yeah.
And then we'll head down into California. And I think we're going to actually go into Mexico for a couple of months. That's going to be something new. There's some opportunities there. One of the gals on, I don't know if she's still on right now, but Marianne from Waikiki, she's down there now and there is an RV park right there. So we're looking at that and just looking, I speak on multicultural trauma. I've widespread it into complacency. I speak against complacency, but there's a lot of opportunity there. And plus, we don't want to see a winter, so we might as well see a winter with sunshine. And California is oh my goodness, what they want for an RV park spot is more than a house payment. Which we got rid of everything. So, I mean, my word. So, yeah. So we'll probably pop down to Mexico, but we'll be in your area probably next spring, late spring, something like that. So I'll make sure when we go through KC that we'll hit you up, give you a call, and maybe just pop in and say hi. How's that sound?
That sounds like a great plan, and not doing winter here is a perfect idea. So, and doing Doing summer in South Dakota or North Dakota sounds like a really good idea as well. So
Yeah, yeah, we're just traveling up. We have to make domicile somewhere because now we're where we were having our mailing was right there in Nebraska, but that's going to end pretty soon. So in order to do domicile, we need to state, and South Dakota is a perfect state for retirees, so to speak. So it's just for mailing purposes. We'll stay a couple of days and then head over. We'll turn left, wherever left goes.
right.
Excuse me. I see Marianne. Marianne has popped on. This is Marianne from Waikiki.
Yes, aloha and hola, everybody on the World of Ability podcast. Great to meet everybody new. Just want to put a little shout out to Kurt and Sue Roscoff, who do this podcast, as well as Emily's support with the IT and engineering and coordination. And it's founded through Jay Stoyan of the Disability Channel out of Toronto, Canada. So we are also partnering with On the Mark TV with 220 networks out of Phoenix, Arizona. And we are being showcased. Well, I am being showcased. My Acts of Kindness series, book series, is being showcased through nonprofit TV. Dr. Anthony Sardelli is showcasing the Acts of Kindness series books in Denny's restaurants. So look at this amazing network that we're doing. So I'm the author of I'm the author of the Acts of Kindness series books featuring 200 folk manus puppets. My books are written for animation movies with sign language characters and a soundtrack by Lucy Lynch and the Perfect Wave. And I've completed the series for ocean cleanup, anti-bullying, and climate change. The first book is Underwater Acts of Kindness, dedicated to Boy and Slat of the ocean cleanup, who is cleaning up many gyras around the world, rivers around the world, and doing amazing work. So I got the opportunity to live on a sailboat for over a decade in Honolulu, Hawaii, Waikiki, Hawaii, where I met a deaf man, and I was back interpreting sign language for him. 30 some years ago, I was case manager with the deaf when President Bush signed the American Disabilities Act. And in a couple of months, we'll be celebrating that ADA approval in July. So great things will be happening on the World of Ability podcast. And so through my journey, I was at the Unity Church of Hawaii interpreting, and I asked Spirit what my next purpose was. And the universe told me I was going to write a series of children's sign language books with puppets. And I laughed. I'm like, with puppets? I like puppets, but who, what, when, where, how, why? And so we were walking down in Ala Moana Mall, and there was a tree of folk manus puppets, and there was a chicken that I could put my hands in, I could sign and fingerspell with, and there was a glove puppet, and that's how the kind of the story started at the beginning, or that creation. And but was happening, this garbage was floating around our sailboats. And we wanted to know why. Well, it was because of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch between Hawaii and California. So Suzanne Sims is a writer. She wrote Thrift Store the Musical. And her first husband was the late Colonel James Shannon, who wrote the inspiration of the movie Men Who Stare at Goats. And they came up with a, well, I don't know how you want to say it. It's called the New Earth Army. And we included this into our book, our first book, Underwater Acts of Kindness. And Lucy sang at the church.
I can't hear anything. Can you guys hear okay?
Yes, we can hear
Yes.
you.
I just hear a whistle.
Can you hear me now?
That's weird.
Is it better? Am I better?
You're fine for us. He's trying to
Sure
get,
what-
he just hopped on.
We can
Someone
hear.
else speak. I'm sorry. For some reason, I don't hear any sound. It just a whistle.
We can hear you. Maybe hop off and hop back on. Sometimes that will do it. He probably can't hear what I'm saying.
Nope.
Emily, maybe you can work with him.
Yep.
Okay. So while you're doing that, Marianne, you want to continue with what you're saying?
Yeah, sure. So that was our inspiration for the first book, Underwater Acts of Kindness. And I got a lot of divine messages doing the sign language interpreting. I'd be thinking about something and then it was talked about, such as rising above sea level, which we dedicated that to be a chapter name. And I went on a sailing book signing journey, Southwest Florida to Virginia, 91 days, 1,700 nautical miles with a Navy friend, and what a journey that was. And I came
Wow.
back, and Lucy came out with another album, and the second book, Rabbit Acts of Kindness, was in development then. And she has all these different songs, such as Forgiveness, Abundance, and it's Harry the hard of hearing rabbit, and who has a sign language interpreter, Chelsea the courageous sign language chicken, and Eve the finger spelling bumblebee, and it's a bullying with the classmates because a frog named Rippet and a French bulldog named Felicia bully Harry the hard of hearing rabbit, and they kick him off the rock, and he lands on Rabbit Island, and he has to learn to stand in his power. So it's a great spiritual journey, and everybody finds out that they didn't know sign language skills and they wanted to be of service, and they have a rainbow birthday party and a parade and a first birthday luau. So these magical things happen around Magic Island, which is really in Hawaii where I lived, and I interpreted with my deaf friend. So these are all, again, divine messages of peace, love, happiness, and thanks. Well, we have to continue the journey because we have the climate change book. Well, now it's dedicated to Leon McLaughlin, Clean Water Foundation out of Seattle, Washington. And hopefully he'll join us a little bit later today. But I applied for awesome grants, and anybody can apply for an awesome grant. They love to give $1,000 a chapter in different cities and countries. So I applied for the Honolulu one and I won it. So we gifted the Hawaii School for the Deaf and Blind water unit value $150, as well as Rabbit Acts of Kindness No Bully books during October is anti-bullying month, and the coloring books and the folk manus puppets. I set up a Zoom with Kurt and Emily so that Leon was in campus there to deliver the water unit. I was traveling with the Disability Channel, and I was in Canada, but we did it through Zoom with Kurt and Emily. So
Okay.
we got to present it with the deaf principal and the sign language interpreters and the deaf children. So we want to multiply that acts of kindness, and we just applied for the North Minnesota. I made a video to express how we want to give the Lucy Craft Elementary School with 500 children and 100 special education with a water unit and our Acts of Kindness series books with Santa Papa John. Now, Santa Papa John joins us every week. He's a storyteller. He has his own VIP every other Monday podcast. Anybody is welcome to join us. And he reads a chapter of my book. So what I'm going to read now is I'm going to read Cool Acts of Kindness. Usually Sue has a video for us that showcases this. And again, I'm so grateful they're being showcased on Denny's restaurants through nonprofit TV. I'm trying to pull up the book here, book cover here. And Emily, do you have it? Is it
I was going to ask you, do you have that video? I was able to see that last week, but it's just a short clip, a video trailer of the book. And that's when I had said I was going to order the books for my grandson. But first, I want to read them. I just think adults reading them is going to be a great thing. And then I'm going to send them on. So I haven't heard from you yet via email yet, Marianne. But Emily, I don't know if Emily's still on or she's working with the other gentleman that was trying to come on. But that video, it's I don't know, a minute long, but I thought it was great. It was great.
Yeah, so Emily can find it. So she has Emily, if you could play it. But I'll move forward. So this book again is dedicated to Leon McLaughlin Clean Water Foundation. It's Cool Acts of Kindness. It features Waterflow, the deaf whale. and we're on chapter 6. So the characters are Greta Thunderbird, a camp director. We introduced Robo Motivation as a robot with a heart, and Waterflow, the deaf whale. And the message is for the love of water. So, so this is a camp on the Big Island of Hawaii. And it was a Saturday, the last day of Eco Camp. The children were already expressing some sadness about having to say goodbye. During breakfast, many of them exchanged phone numbers with promises to stay in touch after they returned home. Greta Thunderbird started classes that morning with a big surprise. Today is a very special day, she told them. Today is World Water Day, March 22nd, as designated by the United Nations. Do we remember Captain Leon, who taught us about the water cycle? Well, Captain Leon is here with us in person. He came all the way to Hawaii to celebrate World Water Day with us. Captain Leon entered the classroom and they recognized a blue hat and a blazer. He also appeared much taller than he was on the video screen, and his voice was more commanding too. Did you know that all around the world, more than 1 billion people do not have access to safe, clean drinking water? He began, imagine if you and I had to drink that was polluted. We wouldn't be very healthy now, would we? In fact, we could die from drinking contaminated water, and many people do. Captain Leon shared this terrible fact of 4,000 children a day die from a waterborne illness, but that is impossible to do something about this. He told them the personal story how he started his career as a shoe shiner operator in Seattle, Washington. He learned that people around the world do not have access to clean drinking water. He decided to make working on water issues his life mission. Captain Leon explained that he began his work in Mexico, and he showed that children's photos and videos of water filter machine that he invented powered by solar energy. Since then, Captain Leon, through Clean Water Foundation, has placed water filters like these in over 40 countries around the world. In only 1 minute, this water filter device can turn a gallon contaminated water into a gallon of clean drinking water, he explained. There are thousands of schools all over the world that can use a water filter just like this. These children were so impressed with Captain Leon, shared they wanted to do something to help as well. They huddled together and they agreed that they would raise money needed to sponsor a water filter for a school somewhere in the world. Just where in the world would that be? Captain Leon pulled out his magic shoebox, something he always carries with him on World Water Day. The box was wrapped in shimmering gold foil paper, and written on it was a silver and black glitter with the words "Cool acts of kindness." Give me a minute here. I'm on the sailboat. We're rocking and rolling here a little bit. Here, just got some waves, and yes, I'm sailing in Mexico as we're preparing. So today we are going to perform the cool acts of kindness. He said. Because of this box, we have hundreds of pieces of paper with the names and schools around the world that need water filters, he told them. Who would like to draw a name from the box? Kai raised his hand and Captain Leon brought the golden box to him. With his eyes closed, he placed a hand inside and pulled out the winning piece of paper. Everyone was eager to know what it said. The Star School, serving the Navajo and Hopi Indian nations of Arizona, USA, Kai shared. These children were curious about the school is located, so Captain Leon opened up a large map of the United States and pointed to Flagstaff, Arizona. The water of the Navajo and Hopi indigenous people have been depleted and contaminated due to mining and uranium on their land. He explained just to get clean drinking water, these residents must drive hours to fill up on jugs and containers. The children learned that the Star School was no ordinary grade school, that its name stands for Service to All Relations, STAR. Captain Leon explained that service to all relations is a philosophy that helps us remember that we are all interconnected and that we all must respect and honor our home planet for the animals and plants to live with us. The school operates off the grid by making its own energy through solar and wind power. So we will be sending a water unit to the Star Grade School as a gift from all of you at the Aloha Aina Eco Camp and the Clean Water Foundation, Captain Leon assured. These children cheered. They informed everyone that after lunch they would be going to a magical boat excursion along the coast. During their outing of the world, during the outing, they would meet Waterflow, the Hawaiian humpback whale, a robot named Robo Motivation. Greta instructed everyone, pack your bags, pick up your dirty sheets and towels to do the laundry area, and be ready to board the bus at 1 o'clock sharp. That's the end of chapter 6 of the book, Cool Acts of Kindness. And this chapter is also named Cool Acts of Kindness, again, featuring Greta Thunderbird, a camp director. So it's a funny bird, yellow puppet, in honor of Greta Thunberg, who is a activist in Europe, who is a young activist with autistic capabilities, who is out there talking about climate change for her future generations. And Robo Motivation is a robot puppet with a wheel with a red heart on him, and he rolls around. And Waterflow, the deaf whale. So again, we have the video. If Emily could please find it, that would actually share more of the story. So thank you so much for letting me share that. This is a weekly book club that we do, and we do it through the Disability Channel. World of Ability Network is where you can watch this and follow up. Again, nonprofit TV on the Mark TV. We appreciate everybody, and Jay Stoyan, the founder of the Disability Channel. So back to you. And Emily, can you find that video, please? And I am anchored here. We're getting ready to go again. We went out once and we lost some electrical. So we came back. We're on the mooring ball. I'm rocking and rolling here, Captain Loose Wire. And we'll see if we're going to go back out today. If not, we'll go tomorrow morning. But I'm going on vacation, so to speak, and creation. And yes, so we're going to go sail the Sea of Cortez, give an update, and let you know what's going on with ocean cleanup around here. But it seems very clean and calm, and everybody's doing their part in community service. And thank you so much. So, yes, Deanna, you're going to love coming down to San Carlos, Mexico. It's beautiful here.
Can't wait. We actually, my husband called this morning and chatted with them. So I don't know, are you going to have self-service in a couple hours, or are you going to be out in the ocean somewhere?
I can't tell you. I should, but yes.
Okay.
So far,
maybe I'll try you on WhatsApp. That'd probably be best.
That's not a problem.
Okay. All right. A couple hours, I'll hit you up and let you know what we found out. So yes, we're definitely coming your way, girl.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Marianne, so much. And
Thank
if
you.
Emily does get that video up, we'll definitely play it. If you're not going to be on either way, we'll play it. I found it very interesting. I did. So looking forward for you sending that to me, just to proofread or whatever you wanted to send me. And I can't wait for my grandson to get them. So I will be ordering and sending to him. So thank you, Marianne, for all you're doing. I see we have John Kennedy, neuroplasticist, and Roger. Hi, Roger. Roger made it. All right. That's my buddy too. John was having a hard time hearing us. We could hear him, but he couldn't hear us, I guess.
I fixed it, fortunately. Yeah.
Yay.
I had to go in and out, technology, right? So use it without, and I actually have to hop off a little bit. I'm going to meet, you guys might know Harvey Loomstein. He's on here sometimes. Very interesting guy. Recommend you meet with him. And I love this group. I can always usually be on for a few minutes each Saturday, but try to make some time to connect with everybody if I can.
Well, thank you for that. I'm filling in for Sue. I'm new to the group myself. I've been on, I think, once or twice, but I know Roger Phillip, he's a friend of mine. My life coach was on just a bit ago. Got to meet Lori, and I know Marianne just through this site. But for those that don't know you, can you just hit us up with what you do and where you're from? I know you said you had to go, so we'll hit you and let you talk to us for a minute.
So actually interesting, I just got off a few minutes ago. I was actually presenting at a brain rehab conference. So basically I'm a neuroplastician. Long story short, I developed a program for our military about 15 years ago. It's the only program of its kind in the world, according to the military. And I can really help rewire people's brains extremely quickly. It's based on a very specific, unique type of stimulation. It's I meet with people over Zoom. Love to meet with you. My information's in there. If you want to talk more about it, you can give you a demonstration. But with the originally with the military, so Marines, Navy SEALs, snipers, pilots, most of whom were also suffering from some sort of emotional or physical brain trauma. And now
Right.
I work with all ends of the spectrums, from professional athletes, a lot of entrepreneurs, because they have a lot on their plate. I have a doctor who can do a surgeon who can do a 6-hour operation in just 2 hours. So twice
Oh,
as many
nice.
patients, plus home with his patient, his family, because he's more efficient. But the other end of the spectrum, we have amazing results. Again, I can send you all this, but been doing it for about 15 years. Autism, I mean, amazing results with autistic kids, ADHD kids, strokes, any type of emotional or mental disability. The program can help extremely quickly. Basically, everything we do flows through our brain. We make our brain faster and more efficient. It doesn't matter what we struggle with. The brain will rewire to do what we ask it to do as efficiently as possible. And so I work with people all over via Zoom. And lately I've started certifying other practitioners because I don't compete with anybody, but any other type of modality, whether it's, brain, actually most very effective programs deal with the mind, right? That's like the operating system of our brain. And I
Right.
work specifically with the processor. So if your CPU is faster on your computer, everything you do, your operating system and every single application also improves. And so that's why I love what I do, because I get to partner with so many other people that are doing amazing things. And together we can just create even better results.
That's mind blowing. Absolutely mind blowing.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this. I'll be quite honest.
Yeah, nobody has.
I know the
Nobody
realm
has.
of what our brains do, but I did not
Yeah.
realize that we can actually go in. Let me ask you. So you're speaking of autism and different mental illnesses or
Yeah.
body effects this way. What about something like bipolar?
That's an interesting thing. And I haven't really. So basically, what happens is people bring me situations because they're not getting help from traditional medicine. And then I always, if I can help them, I help them. I haven't worked with anybody with bipolar disorder yet. It might be. We're doing a lot more research now on how the brain can rewire so quickly this way. So, going like autism, for example, like in one day, we have a 20-year-old autistic going from nonverbal to a chatterbox. I've got sitting down, watching movies with his dad. So a lot of emotional issues. Psychiatrists have referred people to me. So with different issues, and they can get off their medication. So I haven't tried bipolar yet. I'd love to. I mean, it's always, we don't know, right? So, I'd love to try that as well.
I think that would be very interesting. That runs in my family personally. As I understand it, it skips generations for the most, but it is 70% hereditary also. So I don't have it, but one of my sons does, which is still not willing to admit that yet. He doesn't believe that. But when he does go on medication, he gets better. And then they think, well, they're fine. So they go off the medication and then they're not.
Right.
And, so that's why I was questioning the bipolar. And another question I would have is insurance is picking this up at this time. A lot of time preventive medicine, they do not. Because they want you to keep paying for, and they want to put a Band-Aid on things instead of fixing it. So how does that work in your practice?
Yeah, so I don't do insurance. I mean, I have no idea how to get it. It's so different. And just again, I presented at so many different brain trauma conferences, including ACRM, which is the largest in the world. And so much of that funding is going towards research. And what happens is peer-reviewed research means there's no innovation. They're just doing the same thing over and over again. And it can be very effective. But what I do is so different. I work payment plans. I work any way I can to help people because the changes happen so fast. I can typically improve anyone's brain processing speed. We have a validated metric we've been using for 15 years by 10 to 20% in less than an hour. And so if you imagine that your brain is efficient enough to do everything that much faster, then everything in your life changes. We reduce anxiety, we reduce stress, performance, whether it's an athlete, or entrepreneur, or even someone with brain trauma, ADHD, their lives improve pretty significantly very quickly.
That's mind blowing. I think all of us have a little bit of mental disorder. I think it's just bred in us, through our DNAs. It just comes. And as we all have cancer cells in us, sometimes they just become active and then others they don't. Me personally, just hearing you talk, it's like I would be down for that because
the coolest thing is
I lose train of thought, and it's and we receive thousands of pieces of information every day, all day, and I don't know if it's just a brain overload or what it is, but something like that. It's like, wow, to get clarity in just a few hours, even by 10-20%, that would be huge.
Well, it is, and we go way beyond that. That's just in the first hour. But what I love about it is it's not me. I mean, so many programs, they do assessments because they don't want to know what to fix. So I don't do any assessments. And because the brain does all the work. If you give your brain a task to do, it's going to do whatever you ask it to do by rewiring, to do that. And so the whole program is based on really, really simple, just symbols that require decision. I mean, I have 5-year-olds, so I like to say simple enough for a 5-year-old, powerful enough for an Navy SEAL. Because as you go through these exercises, your brain has to rewire to do what we ask it to do. So your brain is doing a tremendous amount of work, even though you think it's something that's going to be simple. And the brain knows where it needs to change. It knows where to be efficient, more efficient, and that's where all these changes happen. So it's not me so much, it's just leading the brain to do what it needs to do.
And I'm terrified to ask how much. My whole family would need it.
No, I work with a lot of families. A lot of families work on different programs.
Well, so you missed my intro, but I have 3 boys with autism.
Okay.
What I did not say in part of my story is 4 years ago we lost our 3rd son. So technically we have 4 boys. We lost our 3rd son, and so having to overcome that and all of the challenges and having to get because of things that happened, the kids were taken, and so we had to get our kids back, and so that has left a lot of trauma and things, and so it would be very interesting to see how what you're doing impacts my own children.
Well, what I'd love to do, so I have to hop off in a couple minutes. I love this conversation. My information's in there. Please reach out to me. I'll set up a little demonstration. I can take you actually through a demonstration of the program, which is the easiest way to understand it. And I can also send you some of the research on autism as well as the other things.
I'm booking a time for next week.
Yeah, awesome. Perfect.
I'll be contacting you too. Absolutely. I'm intrigued on this.
I love this.
Totally intrigued.
I love this. Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, that's what I do. I love to help people. Again, I can send you the research. The best thing, again, let's set up a meeting. We can talk about it, and I can actually give you, in 15 minutes, the demonstration, about 15 minutes, you'll actually feel the differences.
Wow. Wow. What a blessing to have someone like you just willing to even attack such a situation that, it scares a lot of people, and a lot of people do not even know. Lori was talking earlier, some people can have a form of autism and not even realize it. And sometimes they'll call it an ADD or ADHD, and it's really not diagnosed the right way. So this was the short time you were on was powerful. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I love Kurt and Sue for having this platform, and you for taking over for them. And again, I drop in whenever I can. I usually have stuff going on. I got another meeting after this, but it's always rewarding to be here and meet other interesting people.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I know time is valuable. So have a blessed day. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. You too. And I look forward to hearing from you. Yeah, please email me, set up a time to meet. It'd be awesome.
Yes, I screenshotted everything, and plus I'll get everything back. So anybody else have anything? I know John has to hop off. Anybody have a question for John before he hops off? We good? Okay.
You good?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thanks, John.
Guys, have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you so much.
God bless you.
Bye-bye. God bless you too.
Thank you.
Then we have Roger.
Yes. Hi, Roger. How's my buddy Roger? Can you hear me? There
Yeah,
he
hi,
is.
Dina.
There he is.
You caught me
Hi.
by surprise. I was relaxing, had to get camera ready and all that stuff. But for me, it's not much. I don't have to, I use the same makeup artist every time.
And she does a great job. Beautiful man.
It's called
For
a
those,
mirror, but anyhow.
well, you're looking good. For those that don't know Roger, Philip, he's new to joining us today. But Lori, I don't know if you know Roger or Marianne. Roger and I met through another group on Facebook, I think it was, and he and I started chatting. Very interesting man. I'll let you tell your story, Roger, but I find it very interesting how he talks about slavery. And one thing that I did not know that he brought to the table that I'm like, what? Slavery started actually with the white people. The white people had, and Roger and I have come to the decision we can say brown, white, yellow, green. We're not offended by different, and it's not a name calling. It's just a division of flavor. I call them flavors that we're all in. But he has some amazing stories. So, Roger, if you would just tell everyone who you are, what you do, how you do it. And I know you're in Canada, right?
Close to Canada. Liverpool, New York. Close to Canada.
Okay.
Far away from Texas, though.
Well, I'm in Arizona now.
Oh, you're in Arizona. Okay.
Yes, I am. Yep. Right. We moved over a state.
I spent 8 years in the U.S. Air Force, 30 years with American Airlines. And I played a couple of weird sports. So I not only got to travel for work, I got to travel to have fun. I spent the first years trying to defend the country and the next 30 trying to connect people all over the world. And I did, and I made some amazing connections. I have friends on all 7 continents. And I played cricket and sometimes table tennis on all 7 continents. I was talking to a guy today, and he said, "You played cricket in Antarctica?" I said, "Yes, in Argentina." I also played cricket in Mexico, and I played in Nigeria. But I played table tennis all over the world. But and I have relationships that have lasted over 40 years that are still current today. Great relationships with great people. I played for the same club in Germany for over 10 years and got great friendships there from people all over Europe. But I saw way too much division. I'm also an aircraft engineer, not only a pilot. And in aircraft engineering, we use root cause analysis to address chronic issues, not just to fix them, but to see if we can't prevent recurrence, because preventing recurrence is real money. So when I applied the principles of root cause analysis to what was being taught, I quickly realized history is designed to divide. So I decided to research the people, places, and events omitted from history, highlight them to see if I can't replace ignorance with curiosity, diminish unconscious bias, and create an environment where talent and character will supersede what you look like every time. My first book is called America Should Be Grateful to Haiti, but it's not about Haiti. It's a collection of historically overlooked narratives that starts way before Haiti was Haiti, when it was still Hispaniola, and taking it all the way to the Louisiana Purchase. So it's a great story. Now, the book got published and, I was being invited to speak and I was speaking and all that stuff, and all that was good. But I didn't think I was having the impact that I really wanted to. So I switched it up. And I use now about 12 stories to create transformational messages to show people how learning these stories, I'm not just trying to teach history, I'm trying to show how different people used strategic adaptability, resilience, steadfastness, determination, application. And it shows that brilliance, genius, and effort knows no color. It's colorblind. It goes through history. They just didn't tell us the truth. And that's what I do. I've written 6 books for kids between 11 and 16, and I have a course to empower young adults with the knowledge and confidence to thrive, not just survive, in our increasingly diverse world. That's Roger. Call me the bridge builder. My information will be all over the place, but That's me. You can connect with me, calendly.com/Roger Prasad. Let's have a conversation.
Roger, I love that. Wow, you did that in a nutshell. I know when we first talked about it, I think we were on what, a couple hours.
Yeah.
I got the full stories, and my goodness, I have no idea how he even remembers what he. I mean, gosh, he has so much knowledge built in his mind, and he remembers dates and times and places, and it just and it really drew my attention. Didn't you tell me you played table tennis at the
Yeah, I
Hashemite
played table
at the
tennis and
Hashemite?
Marty Supreme, the movie Marty Supreme. That's a real person. That's Marty Reisman. He was my friend until he passed away in 2012.
Right, right. And also, didn't you tell me, me being Palestinian, and at one point I was married to a Jordanian, and we lived over there. Didn't you tell me you played at the Hashemite Kingdom, table tennis, something like that, right?
I
Or
played,
ping pong maybe.
I played, no, I did tell you the story. I played tennis on the
Tennis,
clay courts of King Hussein. Of course,
right?
King Hussein was not there. I knew
Mm-hmm.
one of his pilots, and they invited
Uh-huh.
me to play. And listen to this: you're playing tennis on the clay courts, and the ball boys, got machine guns.
I hear you. I hear you.
It's
I
kind of
totally
hilarious,
get it.
but yes, I
Mhm.
spent some time in Ramallah. I've been through parts of Jordan. I love traveling, but what I love more than ever is connecting with people and learning different cultures. I was just talking to somebody today, and he reminded me of me and one of my friends from Germany driving through the German countryside at 3 in the morning, singing at the top of our voices, Hank Williams, I'm so lonesome I could cry.
Oh my.
Imagine me and a big German singing, I'm so
I'm
lonesome I could
lonesome I
cry, at
could
the top of
cry.
our voices in the middle of the German countryside. Now that's cultural connection.
That is cultural connection. I love that. I do love that. You just mentioned Ramallah, and that actually is my hometown overseas. Elvira, Ramallah, you know, they're connected.
Yes.
That's the first city of occupied territory. So I was there in several of the wars, and of course, it's ongoing. I don't really talk a lot about politics because nobody ever knows the truth. Not sure what happened here.
Yeah, well, one of the privileges I had of playing table tennis, about that time, this was the early 70s, and there was the World University Games in Tel Aviv, and nobody wanted to go because they were hijacking the planes and all that stuff. I was number 5 on the list, and I got to go because everybody else didn't want to go.
Oh,
And
wow.
we got to go to Tel Aviv and play. And from Tel Aviv, we went to Ramallah. I met people from Egypt. We went to Egypt. We had a great time. That's when we could travel all over the world, and nobody bothered
Really?
you. And yeah, freely. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I miss
Mm-hmm.
those days. And having flight benefits and being able to just hop on a plane and get a free trip, that was fantastic. So I've been blessed. I've had a great life. And what I want to do is use the knowledge that I developed from that great life to help people live better lives today.
Well, Roger, do you go to speaking engagements, or do you do everything mostly virtual? Are there
I go to speaking
conferences that you
engagements
go
if I
to?
can. If I don't want to travel too far, but if it's in my zone, I will go. I'm
Okay.
not too far from New York City, so I'll go to New York City, Philly, places like that. Yes, I will travel to speaking engagements. Yes.
Okay. I know Philip is also a speaker, and he's out there moving around, and hopefully you two will connect and see maybe what you have in common and how you two can help each other out. Lori, I'm not sure. Do you speak or do you do a podcast? I know your life is contained with your kids a
So
lot.
yeah, so
So,
right now, so Kurt got me to start a podcast. We started it in February, and so I do it on right now. I do it on the second and fourth Thursdays, 1:30 Arizona time. I'm not changing time zones. Everybody else can change, but Arizona doesn't. So
right. There you go. There you go. Yes.
yeah,
I'm with you,
so
girl.
we do. I know. So we do it 1:30 on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then after my kids go back to school in August, because we start incredibly early, but
Yes.
yeah, so my kids go back to school like the first week of August. So the second
Mhm.
week of August, we're gonna go weekly.
Okay.
So I've
So
got
are you
people
looking for
looking.
speaking events? Are you actively
I'm
looking?
not
Are you looking just
necessarily like I right now I'm willing to do podcasts. I don't know if I've necessarily I haven't done like speaking events in the sense of like at our church we have to talk every so often or we have to teach or do things. So like I have no
Mhm.
problem doing that
Uh-huh.
and I can talk to people that way, but I haven't necessarily said, hey, here's my story, here's what I've
Hmm.
learned, any of that. I haven't done that at least
Hmm.
yet. Could possibly, sure.
Hmm.
Um, but it would definitely have to be in I couldn't really travel for it, but
Right,
I
right. But
love being on people's
there's a huge call for virtual speakers, and
hmm
there's not a lot of speakers in your category. So I
hmm
was just wondering about that. I know Ryan
yeah,
is a coach. There's several people that coach, and Kurt and Sue, they're great. Um,
yeah,
but I was just wondering if you're trying to maybe connect, and there's always an income there.
hmm
We all have to eat, feed kids or grandkids, or pay bills or whatever it is. So
yeah,
we all love doing what we do and giving back. However, there comes a time where sometimes we need to get paid also.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I just think it's important to speak out about that, even though we're in a giving community. Sometimes just asking for donations works well. I was at American Legion fundraiser last night. I was going to be a keynote speaker for a yellow ribbon cutting ceremony, and that was canceled because and it's being kept very quiet. Um, there's 12,000 troops that are being shipped out. They're leaving from Arizona, going to California, and they're going into active war. Um, it was not disclosed which war, but of course we know several of them that are going on right now. So, however, my husband and I did show up last night. It was for the Pat Tillman Post, and it was the Veterans Foundation. So it was over on Cave Creek. You're probably familiar, where Cave Creek is. Um,
yes,
but I just found it interesting. And so organizations like that, there is a lot of trauma. There is, children born with, or even soldiers that come back that have had head injuries or some type of trauma that might benefit greatly from your type of talk.
yeah.
And,
So
and
I
yes,
also, yeah. So like one, if you know those, yeah, absolutely send me their way, whatever, however, I
okay.
have no problem with that. But I can also work with military, um, active or retired. I travel. There are military, first responder, sometimes teacher discounts, things like that.
Hmm.
I'm actually working with Santa Papa John on a list. I need to go back and work on it of here is all the discounts, here's the
Hmm.
companies that are giving the discounts, what it is, and if you can use it concurrently with the current deals, or if it's you get to pick one or the other, because
Hmm.
sometimes. So I'm working on that list for Santa Papa John to put on his website, and you can use a travel agent for that. Sometimes you
Hmm.
have to do it on your own, but yeah, absolutely. I love supporting the military. One of my best friends, her son's currently a Marine in
Uh-huh.
Pendleton right now.
Oh,
So
okay. Okay.
he's still on base and stuff, but
Uh-huh. So,
if they ever get
and
called up.
I know you said that you do the travel agency, and so you do it not only for disabled, right? You do it for
Well,
everyone, or,
PTSD can happen to anyone.
well,
And
I have it, so.
PTSD can
Yeah.
happen is a form of a disability. Disability
Okay.
doesn't have to be because it's visible and invisible disabilities is what I'm able to handle. So if you have a
Mm-hmm.
visible disability, you need a
Mm-hmm.
wheelchair, you need a walker, you're missing a limb, you can't, things like that. That is a
Right.
visible disability, but
Mm-hmm.
invisible disability can be bipolar, can be sensory overload, neurodivergence, PTSD, depression, anxiety, whatever it is. There's visible and invisible disabilities. And
Right. Right.
if you need that extra attention, or if, hey, you need someplace quiet versus someplace really loud, okay, food allergies, food
Mm-hmm.
sensitivities, that's an invisible disability.
Right.
And if my kid eats soy or oats, I have to give him an EpiPen. So
Wow.
how much is that in the world? So just all of those things,
So
that there's a lot of invisible disabilities, and that's just a few of them.
and these are things that you take care of for those with these type of disabilities. When they want to travel, you make sure that they are served correctly, and food allergies, that type of thing. So that's something, and I know it would be very difficult. For a while, I was on a walker and a cane. I have partially titanium in my back, and just trying to get them to understand that, I didn't need that chair to lift me into the airplane. It's just that, I was going to take my walker and get there, and then I needed help folding it up and so on and so forth. Praise God. I don't need any of that any longer. However, the PTSD stems from me being in this 1967 war in Israel, and childhood trauma. So there are some situations on airplanes. It's like, ooh, getting a little claustrophobic here.
Yep.
But I mean, so far, praise God, I've worked through it. But that's good to know, because my daughter, for example, my youngest one, petrified to fly for that reason. She is flying here, and it's taken everything we could get to get her on an airplane. So she promises she's not going to miss the flight. So it's a big event in our family this coming weekend, but she does promise she's coming. So she would be a great candidate for if and when she needed to fly again. Just talking to you would be able to calm her, saying, this is what we can do for you. So
well, and there's I know in Arizona, they have different organizations that you can practice going on a plane and those types of things. So if they just want something that's maybe 15 minutes, there are different ways that you can, be like, okay. And, there's still trains. There's still, I mean, honestly,
true. Yeah.
I still see Greyhound buses for all that's worth, but I still see them. I'm like, I'm on the road a lot. We moved 20 minutes north, and so I'm on the road 20 minutes longer to get to everything. So
okay.
so
I get that.
So it's 20-25 minutes longer, because if I want to go to Costco right next to where you're at, it's 20 minutes.
It's right here. Oh, okay.
Yep. I know exactly where you're at. I was like, oh, yep, I know. I drive by there all the time, because I take a kid home. Yeah, we take a kid home that we carpool with at 35th and Union Hills.
Okay.
So I grew up. I grew up there. I'm actually a Phoenix native, which is.
Are you? Okay. Well, we lived here for years and years. We had a restaurant on 51st and Thunderbird for several years, and then a catering business. And it's when the Blockbuster used to be there. I think
Oh my
Blockbusters are
gosh.
just to lay down.
What? Okay.
I'm giving my age away at this point, I think.
No, because I grew up. So my mom still lives at 39th Ave in Thunderbird.
Okay.
So that's where I've literally lived in this 10117 Thunderbird box almost my whole life, except for when I was in Flagstaff. What was the name of your restaurant?
It was Little Demo's Family Bistro, and we were Mediterranean and Italian. So once a month we'd have the belly dancers come in, given Mediterranean here, and we served Italian food, Mediterranean nights. We'd have luau's, a lot of different things, but it was in the shopping plaza there. But on the biggest landmark that's where the Blockbuster was when they had a Blockbuster, and Thunderbird Medical is right behind it. Hospital and stuff like that. So we've only been here about 10 days now, so I haven't gone back to that shopping center. We did go back to our old home, and it's like, it's just not the same. We thought we missed it, but we don't. But one thing you did say about going to airports and different things, I have encouraged my daughter to start taking her dog and getting him used to just going into the airport. She's not flying with him, but however, I think that's huge to not just take your service animal on the plane. You have to, as with even a child, you have to get them used to a surrounding. So when you said you can go to the airport and just start getting used to the people, and the commotion and the movement. That's what she's going to start doing with her dog, is just, go to Springfield Airport and just start walking around with him and, training him, keep his, and she always tells him, and I said, make sure you tell him you're working. When people come up, just say he's working, that type of thing. So that will help her not have to come up to that discomfort or anxiety of saying, especially with a child coming, and go, can we pet your dog? And
does he have a vest?
Yes,
Okay.
he does, but she doesn't have the one that says working, because she hasn't gone anywhere to take him to where to say he's working.
Because I
rides
know one of my best friends, she has do not pet, just do not pet on the side.
okay.
So it's not
Okay.
even that they're working, it's just do not pet.
Okay.
So that might be an option for you, just so that way it's not that she has to answer, it just says do not pet.
Got it.
And
Okay.
that eliminates that anxiety.
All right. Well, I will let her know that. Thank you for that. Looks like we have Greg Boone on here. Hi, Greg Boone. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm Dana Elaine, and I'm helping Sue and Kurt out as Emily is helping me out host today's show.
Okay.
I've not met you before, so please tell us all about you.
Sure, be glad to. Okay, so well, I'm Greg Boone. I'm a veteran. I'm an author. And right now I am on a mission to help rescue horses from slaughter. So you
nice.
can join me in that by calling your senator and urging him to include the SAFE Act, Save America's Forgotten Equine Act, on the 2026 Farm Bill. And that is, if it doesn't get on there, then it's several years that they'll be continuing that practice. So,
Greg, did you say 2026 Farm Bill?
yes.
Farm Bill. Okay. All right. Got that.
So here's an interesting fact. Where I am at, we have wild burros.
Really? Huh.
Yep.
I've not come across those yet. We're both in Arizona, Greg. So
you got to come up to my neck of the woods.
Okay.
But yeah, they literally wander around, and my kids. So my father was a veterinarian. He had his parents had 49 acres in Montana. I grew up going up there, so I understand how to work and all of that stuff. But I applaud what you are doing, Greg, and thank you for that.
Absolutely. Greg, how did you get started in this, and how long have you been doing this? Tell us your why. Tell us your why.
Well, it all started really simply. I was watching TV on a Saturday morning, and they had rescue shows on and everything, and I happened to watch one where inmates were rescuing or rehabilitating rescued horses. And I was like, well, that's kind of interesting. But I wasn't sure what they were being rescued from. So went to the internet, and I did not like what I saw. And there's no way to unsee that. And I knew I had to do something about it. So I've been just trying to raise awareness and raise money to help fund my mission. And yeah, so that's basically how that started. And then I wrote a chapter of a book in a book Built with Purpose, all about that mission there, about rescuing.
All about purpose. Okay. And what created All About Purpose? What is
Okay,
what was your inspiration for that? I guess is the best way to ask that. What was your inspiration for writing that book?
My inspiration I wrote a chapter in the book. There's 41 other authors in there.
Okay.
I just wanted to get my story out there. I wanted to raise awareness. I thought that would be a good way to get it into everybody's hands and let them, because I've talked to people and they're like, I didn't know about that, you know?
I didn't. Right.
Yeah.
I didn't. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I'm on a platform called Alignable, and
Okay.
a lady named Sue Brook,
Mhm.
she's the project manager, and she had posted about the book, and I thought I'm gonna do that. And so I jumped on board, and yeah, it's now published and became a best-selling
Oh, wow.
book.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. You can find it on
Okay.
Amazon.
All right. All right. Good to know.
Hmm.
So do
Greg,
you,
where are you?
I was
Where
gonna
are
say,
you?
where are you? Uh-huh.
I'm in Kansas,
Okay.
about 30 miles from Wichita, north of
Okay.
Wichita. Yeah.
Okay.
One gal was on earlier, Debbie, and she's from Kansas also. I don't
Okay.
remember her last name. Emily might know, but
Deb
yeah,
Miller. She's
Deb
in
Miller.
Kansas City.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
It's amazing, right? Just today. And Philip, tell me again where you're from.
I'm in the Seattle area, Bellevue,
Seattle.
Washington.
Okay.
Okay.
Know where that is?
Yeah, so we're like expanding the country here. From we have the West
We
Coast people,
are.
like Arizona,
Yes.
Seattle, and then you have Roger over in New York, and then you have me and Greg up in the middle, and so
This is
yeah.
great. And
Yeah.
Marianne, who Lord knows where Marianne is. She's in the ocean somewhere.
She's south of the border.
South of the border. Yep. We'll be joining her in a couple months. Yes, absolutely. Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
anything's better than here.
Girl, I did not expect, yeah, I mean, living here was one thing years ago, you get used to it, but coming back and then we got hit with that heat wave, what, 109, 110 a few days in a row. It's like, good Lord. And those were days I was going to meet the chamber. So it's like, okay, forget about any makeup. Let's just go,
Yep.
and it worked. It worked. It worked. So what else can anyone share with us today? I know we have about 4 minutes left. Is that right, Emily?
Emily, is it possible to you to play the Cool Acts of Kindness video trailer?
Can see what putting on. Hold on.
That was really a fun video. Yeah, that's what made me think of my grandson, Marianne, when I saw that. And then my husband went into the whole spiel of how they use dolphins to track mines, I guess, under the ocean. And when they find them, they start jumping out of the water, I guess. Is that right? To notify the Navy that there's a active mine, and then the Navy goes in with these big claws and collects it and implodes it, or destroys it, however they do it. But it's like, really? Flipper does that? I had no idea.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that's mind blowing. Philip, this is going to come on, then I'll have a question for you, Philip. I was just wondering where you're going next.
For the love of water, World Water Year. Join us as we celebrate World Water Day with the fourth book in the Acts of Kindness series by Marianne of Waikiki. Meet Robo Motivation, a brave robot delivering clean water to schools worldwide. Alongside Waterflow the whale, our deaf ocean hero, they show that every act of kindness can change the world, one drop at a time. Plus, meet Pollination, the inspiring bee championing sustainability, and Mr. Penmanship, the Emperor Penguin, urging you to stand up for climate change by writing to Greenpeace. Powered by Lucy Lynch's Love is the Only Way. This movement reminds us that love, kindness, and action create waves of change. This book is dedicated to Leon McLaughlin, founder of Clean Water Foundation, Seattle, Washington, USA. All U.S. classroom teachers can request copies for every student through DonorsChoose.org. Support a classroom, build a future. Get your copy today on Amazon and visit actofkindnessseries.com. Unite for the love of water.
Thank
love
you so
that.
much.
I love that. I think that's just a great video trailer, and it just resonates, Greg, with what you're doing, Lori, Philip, Roger. It's, you know, today isn't about limitations. It's about humanity and resilience and recognizing the value that every person can bring into the world, literally. And just by having this podcast or live streaming YouTube, I'm still trying to get politically correct in all the terminology, but just the group that has joined us today, and there were several, that's already had to pop off, but just if you take a minute, and even when we're finished, and just reflect on what everybody had to share. It's everyone is doing something out there for the greater good. And, a lot of it is faith-based, which is so important. Philip, I'm good, great, good, great. That is going to stick with me for so long. Good, great, good, great. And I can't wait for Ryan to rehear this and actually just chat with you. You're going to love him. But gosh, I just want to thank everyone for coming in and supporting and giving me the opportunity, even through my stumbling here and there, to just speak up and speak out. And I pray that that's what we continue to do, because we don't know who that one person is going to be that is going to be able to take away from what we share. It's like we turn our mess into a message sometimes, and that message resonates, and it literally helps. It helps people. And if we show up that way, because it matters how we show up, right? Every day it matters. And if there's something that is holding us back from doing that, then just with the group on here alone, we have received some tools to think about and to act on, to pray about, and to keep moving forward. And Kurt and Sue, what they're doing, Emily, the team behind this, God bless them for doing this. I think they're going on 6 years doing this and they belong to a gazillion different groups, some nonprofits, some organizations, and this is what they do. They collect people like us, and they use our talent to go serve others and help others. Some of it's free talk, some of it is keynote speaking in larger events. So I highly encourage for everyone to stay in touch with Sue and Kurt and Emily, of course, and just hop on here. On Saturday. It's every Saturday. Is that right, Emily? It's every Saturday.
Yeah, every Saturday at the same time, same link, same
Same
everything.
station, the whole bit. And
so everybody's welcome to join us again anytime. What's in your schedule?
That's the first time I was on, I stayed for the whole show just so I could get the gist of all of it. But I know we all have schedules, but yes, please, anytime. If it's just a 5 minute that you want to pop on and say, had a revelation, wanted to share this, that's great, because it's something we can take away, and think about and process and pray on. And I'm grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm not sure how this ends. I think I'm going to let Emily hop on and do that for us. Right, Emily?
Again, I want to thank everybody for get myself up here. Maybe.
There you are.
There we go.
There you go.
I want to thank everybody for joining us again. As we were saying, everybody's welcome to come back again anytime. And we have other shows during the week as well. So if anybody is interested in joining any of the other shows too, to let us know. I know we have Blue Collar Crypto coming up tomorrow at 2 Pacific, 5 Eastern. If anybody's and then at 4 and 5:30 Central. So that works out in your time zone. Thank everybody, and hope everybody has a safe and productive week, and to stay happy.
Thank you, Emily. I know the Wednesday, Philip and Greg, I don't know if you guys have been on this yet. Laura, you might have. I know Marianne has, but they have a radio show that they do. It's literally 29 minutes. They get cut off, but within a minute or two later, it goes into a live streaming on a I think I'm not sure where that is where that's live stream live, but I stayed on for the whole show. I was a feature speaker this past Wednesday, and Sue's great. She's full of energy, and she will just guide you all the way through it. And she introduces you, and then man, you just roll with it. So if anyone's interested in that or has the time for that, I know that would be a blessing to them also. So Wednesday night is really a huge one, especially because it's over the air radio. So thank you so much. God bless.
I'm signed up in June, so I had to wait for my kids. Yeah, I had to wait for my kids to get out of school. Wednesdays are kind of my like absolute crazy day. So
okay, I get that.
Let everything settle.
Okay. Laura, Leon McLaughlin, Clean Water Foundation is in Seattle.
I think you meant Philip. He's in Seattle.
Philip.
Oh, Philip. Okay, Philip. Yeah, he's in Seattle, Washington. Have to connect with him.
Who is? We didn't hear who you said. Marianne.
Leon McLaughlin. Leon McLaughlin. Oops. Leon McLaughlin